Pilot 101, Part 3. We're under FMC speed and B nav and L nav are engaged. All right, a brief discussion on how to close up the route or how to remove discontinuity. As you can see, we have a route discontinuity, and on line 1 you can see that the fix is pain or Papa Alpha Echo 01, and you can see that in the navigation display. The triangle represents the aircraft and we're flying to that fix. Now from that fix there is no route to take us to pain. As you can see, there's no line connecting the two, and what we need to do is remove this continuity. In order to do that, what we will do is line select 3 left, this button right here, and that will move this fix to the scratch pad right here. Next, we will make that the next fix by clicking or line selecting 1 left. By making this fix the third fix, the first one, we in essence remove the discontinuity because we're no longer flying to pain 01. Another thing to note here, where it says 1.4 nautical miles, that's the distance we currently are from pain 01. Right after we remove this continuity, the aircraft will turn and go to pain. Now, one note here: if you're in such a position that it's impossible to make the turn, or you wouldn't be able to fly it yourself, don't expect the computer, the flight management computer, to fly it for you. It just won't happen. Now we're going to click on where it says pain, line select 3 left, and then click on left 1 to make pain the first fix, and see the magenta line in the bottom left goes directly to pain. Because LNAV is on and engaged, the aircraft immediately begins to follow the magenta line. Okay, the airplane is turning around towards pain. Next, we need to get an approach plate to do an auto land in Seattle International. Now to do that, we're going to need a chart. This is one way to get charts. There's several ways to do it, but this is one example if you don't know where to get one. Go to VATSIM, chartfinder.vatsim.net, and type http://chartfinder.vatsim.net in the address bar of your web browser. And then for this example, type the ICAO code of Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha for Seattle International, and a folder appears with for Seattle-Tacoma. Expand the approach folder, then expand the 16 left folder and select the ILS Cat 3. And we're going to do a Cat 3 autoland. So download the PDF chart and either print it or open it so you can reference it. Now, noteworthy is the ILS frequency of 110.3, the inbound course of 161, and the identifier ISNQ. Note some of the altitudes that we're going to need to be at. Pause if you like to read these, and then hit play again to continue watching the video. Okay, press the departure and arrivals button next to legs, and then select the runway approach in the CDU, and then select next page button to until you see ILS 16 left. In this case, it's going to be the right button number 1, and see the fixes in the navigation display. And we're going to choose the transition as pane, since we're headed to pane right now. And then we need to click execute for it to take effect. Now notice that we have this continuity, so we need to close up the route. In order to do that, see where it says pane and Seattle up on top, and then at the bottom number 4 says pane, and then Kenmo. Okay, we're going to click in the second, well, we're almost at pane, so we're going to click Kenmo, and then click on line select number 1 to make Kenmo the next fix. And you can see in the navigation display that the aircraft is almost at pane, and the next fix is Kenmo. Now we need to tune both radios to the frequency of 110.30. To do a full auto land, you need 2 radios tuned. Here you can verify that the frequency and the identifier and the course are displayed. The course is 162, and I'm entering it right now. We can select flaps and V speeds. We'll use flaps 30 with a VREF landing speed of 134 knots. And we make a note of that. We can always come back to this page and look at it, but we don't need to know what the landing speed is. So we've selected 30 degrees of flaps and a landing speed of 134 knots. Alright, next we're going to arm the approach. First, let's set the altitude in the MCP to 2400 feet, and then press the APP button in the MCP. Start slowing up, and when you get below 270 knots, you can deploy your landing gear. When you hit 230 knots, you can start deploying the flaps as per the indicators next to the speed tape. After you press the approach button, it lights up in green, and verify in the PFD that the glide slope and the localizer are annunciated in white letters. The annunciator works this way: when white letters are displayed, it means it's armed. If you have green letters, it means it's engaged. Arm the second autopilot, arm the spoilers, arm your auto brakes, and select max brakes. Whoa, there's quite a bit going on during the approach descent phase. That's why there are 2 pilots. Feel free to pause as much as you need. The goal is to do it without pausing though. Alright, we're about to land. Glance over your instruments, verify your speed, flaps, landing gear. Notice that flare is just announced in the PFD under glide slope. You see flare announced in white letters, meaning that it's armed. It'll flare once it touches down on the runway. Landing gear, it's down, flaps, landing. So we're pretty much configured and all set. Let's take a quick look outside. It looks good from this angle. We should be ready to land. Alright, I'm gonna pause the sim for a second. I'm gonna double check my speed, my altitude, my course. Auto throttle is set. Both autopilots are on. Landing gear, it's down, indicating auto brake set. Landing flaps 30 indicating, and spoilers armed. Now I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna unpause the sim and let's land it. Notice that I'm not talking to ATC and there is no other traffic. I recommend that you practice this without ATC. You don't need the distraction when you're first learning it. But after you become better at it, you may want to add ATC and more traffic for more added realism.
300. 100.
Notice that flare is just
50.
engaged
40. 30.
right at this moment.
20.
And as soon as the
10.
aircraft touches down, the auto throttle disengages. Press the F2 key to engage reverse thrust, and when you reach 80 knots, press the F1 key to idle power. This is a tower view of our ILS runway 16 left, Cat 3, auto land. And just in case you're wondering, default FSX aircraft is not auto land capable. In order to do an auto land, a Category 3 auto land, just like the one we did right now, you need a payware aircraft such as this 737 from Wilco.